Okay, today we are talking about 10.4 polygons, and the first thing you're definitely going to want to know is what a polygon is. Looking at this definition, how many sides does a polygon have to have?
3 sides.
Okay, it has to have 3 sides at least, okay? Basically, it's any kind of shape with all straight lines and no curves whatsoever. So let's imagine that I had this. Would that be considered a polygon?
Yes.
Yes, because it's a shape with at least 3 sides and no curves. How about this? Would that be a polygon?
Yes.
Yes, because it's a shape with all straight sides and no curves. What about this?
No.
No, why is that not a polygon?
Curves.
Because it has curves, okay? Next up, we're going to talk about a regular polygon. This is a polygon that has all sides and all angles equal in measure. So let's imagine that we had something that's like this, okay? And it has these little markings on it. Whenever it has markings that look like that, that means it's all exactly the same length, okay? Now, if it had something that looked like this, what does that little thing tell us?
It's a right angle.
Those are all right angles, which means all of their angles are exactly the same. Now, let's imagine that I had something that looked like this. Is that a regular polygon?
No.
No. Why not?
Sides aren't equal.
Okay? The sides aren't equal. Those 2 sides are the same, and these 2 sides are the same. However, in order to be a regular polygon, every single side has to be equal. He asked, how come I put 2 lines right here? That means that that one is equal with the other one that has 2 lines. But it means the one that only has 1 line is only equal with the one that only has 1 line. Okay? So that helps us to understand whether things are equal or not equal in measure. Then specifically, we have some that are called a 4-sided polygon. Everyone say quadrilateral.
Quadrilateral.
All right, that's a very big word. But here I've given you some examples of some pictures or some words here that are 4-sided polygons. A square, a rhombus, a rectangle, a trapezoid, and a parallelogram. All of those have 4 sides, therefore they are called a quadrilateral. All right, so basically what I'm doing here is I'm giving you some examples and we are classifying what the polygons are. Remember, a polygon is any kind of a shape that has straight sides and no curves. A triangle, how many sides does it have? 3. So anytime that you see something that's 3-sided, it's a triangle. It doesn't have to look exactly like that. It can look like this. Okay, it's got 3 different sides, all right? Quadrilateral, how many sides does it have? 4, okay? Now, what specific quadrilateral is that I gave you? A rhombus, okay? Listen, is this 4-sided? Yes, so that would also be a quadrilateral. Is this 4-sided? Yes, so that would also be a quadrilateral, okay? So quadrilaterals can look very different. They're all going to be 4 sides. Next up, a pentagon is how many sides? 5 sides, okay? Think about the building in Washington, D.C. It's called the Pentagon because it has 5 different sides, all right? You could also have something that looks like this. Okay, that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides also, so that would also be a pentagon, okay? It can look many different ways. Next up, a 6-sided thing. Think about when you have X in 6 is X in hexagon, okay? So when you come to your quiz on Monday and I ask you what is a 6-sided figure called, you should hopefully remember it because it has an X just like a 6, okay? Let's go on to the next one. A heptagon, how many sides does it have? 7 sides, okay? So once again, remember, it can look very different. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you saw that arrow, it has 7 sides, so that is also a heptagon. Last one is an octagon, okay? Think about an octopus. How many legs does an octopus have? 8, okay? It sounds similar to octagon. There are also 8 sides on an octagon. What shape is an octagon that we know of?
Stop sign.
A stop sign. Okay, very good job. All right, so you guys are going to have to memorize the names of all of these different kinds of polygons. Okay, so we're going to continue talking about some more polygons. Remember, a polygon is just something, it's a shape that has at least 3 sides with all straight lines. You can see both of these have straight lines and they are both shapes. First thing is a trapezoid. It's a quadrilateral with 1 pair of opposite sides that are parallel. Okay, so you can see right here these little arrows. Those arrows there are telling us that those are parallel. Notice that I do not have arrows right here. Why do I not have arrows there?
Because they're intersecting.
They would eventually intersect if they kept going on, so that's why there's no arrows there. The next one is a parallelogram, okay? This is a quadrilateral with two pairs of parallel sides. Tell me again, what does a quadrilateral mean? How many sides? Four, okay? Quad means four. So it's a quadrilateral that has two pairs of parallel sides. Which one do you think this is parallel with? The one on the bottom. Notice how many arrows are there? Only one. How many arrows are on here? Two of them, okay? That means those two that have two, they're parallel with each other. The ones that have one are parallel with each other, okay? So it makes sense which ones are parallel. Next up, just kind of the definition of what a rectangle is. It's a parallelogram with four right angles, okay? So right here, how many degrees is a right angle? 90 degrees, okay? So it's going to have four 90-degree angles in it. And then a parallelogram. How many parallel sides does a parallelogram have? It will have two pairs of parallel lines, okay? So if you're looking at that, you can see this is parallel with that down there on the bottom, and this is parallel with that. So that's two pairs of parallel lines. Next up, a rhombus. Once again, you're going to have two pairs of parallel lines, or a parallelogram, with four congruent sides. Now, the way that you can tell if something is congruent or not is by having what on the shape? This little line right here, okay? So that is showing us, instead of even saying these are each 4 inches, it tells us with those lines that they are all equal with each other, or they are congruent with each other. Last one, read to me what a square is. A parallelogram with 4 right angles and 4 congruent sides. So notice, it has to have all of these right here with the 4 sides that are equal, and it has to show us that all 4 angles are equal also. All right, this is similar to what you're going to find on your homework tonight. This is asking us, tell whether or not the following figure is a polygon, and if it is, classify it. If it's not, explain why it's not. So let's look at the first one. JD, do you think A is a polygon? Yes, that is correct. Now it says if it is a polygon, explain, or classify why it is. What kind is that? It's not a rhombus. Think about it. How many sides does it have? Help me out, guys. How many sides does it have? 4. Look at your notes and tell me, what do we call anything with 4 sides? It is a quadrilateral. Every single polygon that has 4 sides is a quadrilateral. All right, let's look at the next shape. Landon, is this a polygon? No. Why do you think it's not a polygon? You are correct. It's not a polygon because, as he said right there, these are curves. Remember, a polygon has to have nothing but straight lines. So you're just going to put it as curves. And that is explaining why it is not a polygon. Final one, Emma. Do you think this one is a polygon?
Yes.
Yes, it is a polygon. Emma, tell me how many sides it has.
7.
It has 7 sides. What do we call a 7-sided figure?
Heptagon.
A heptagon is correct. All right, number 2 says to classify the polygon and tell if it's regular. If it's not regular, explain to me why it is not regular. So let's look at the first one. Is this a polygon?
Yes.
Yeah, it has 3 sides, so it is a polygon. What kind of a polygon is it?
Triangle.
It's a triangle because anything with 3 sides is always going to be a triangle. Now it says, tell if it's regular. How do you know if something's regular or not? How can you tell if something's regular or not? It has all equal sides. Notice the second thing on your notes today, it says a polygon with all equal sides and all equal angles, okay? If this had had equal sides, what would have had to be on that triangle? The little lines showing us, and angle markings, okay? So that tells me right here, this is not regular, and when it asks us to explain why it's not regular, because all the sides and all the angles are not equal. Problem B, is this a polygon?
Yes.
Yes, it's a polygon because it's all straight sides. Can somebody tell me what kind of a polygon it is? Okay, why is it a hexagon? Because it has 6 sides, okay? So we can tell we classified it as a hexagon. Now, is this regular or not regular? Raise your hand if you think it's regular. Raise your hand if you think it's not regular. Okay, the people who say it's not regular, can you explain to me why you don't think that's regular? Katie?
It doesn't have equal angles.
Yes, it does.
It doesn't, if it doesn't tell me the angles, if there's not a specific sign there, I am going to go ahead and assume that it's not regular. Look, you can see that the sides are all equal, but it doesn't tell us anywhere on that picture that those angles are equal, okay? Although you might think it looks equal, unless it shows you with clear markings, you cannot assume that it is. If not, you would need to have it written like this, showing us that they're all equal. Does that make sense? All right, final problem for this slide. C, would you say that this is a polygon or not?
Polygon.
Yes, it is. And is it regular? Yes. What kind of a regular polygon is it?
Square.
It's just a square because it has 4 sides, but let's see, is it regular or not regular?
Regular.
How can you tell it's regular?
It has the right angles and right sides.
Okay, notice here, it shows us all of the measures as far as the sides are the same, and every single angle is what kind of an angle?
Right.
A right angle, okay? Joke for today.
Yeah.
What did the students say when they saw an empty parrot cage?
I don't know. Where's the parrot?
Is it equal?
All right, final one. Emma, what'd you say?
It was like I said something that has to do with polygon, like polygon on the cross.
All it is, polygon.
How do you?
Wait, but we
There you
didn't know.
go.
I don't have grades.
But we didn't.
All
we didn't know the
right.
name of the parrot. Like,
Her name was Polly, and she is gone. All right, here's your homework for tonight. That's all you need to know about Polygon.